So this is that lawyer. He's like a divorce lawyer, and there's like a good amount of them on here. I used to follow him. I want to say I did. There's another one that's bald that I follow, and then there's a female lawyer that I follow. And they make, I think that divorce lawyers have a good insight on, what's going on. So I follow them, right? Now, the thing that I've heard this dude say stuff that I completely agree with, right? And I don't think I've ever really heard him say anything that I did like that. I just was like, what the fuck? Where'd that come from? But after watching this, like even just this one little clip, I can clearly see like what type of person this dude is. He's a grifter pretty much. So he just says whatever is convenient in the moment publicly so that he can either for hubris or ego or to, get more followers, to get more, client. Like, I don't care, whatever it is. But that's like, to me, that's what I get, because this conflicts with a lot of the stuff that I've heard this dude say.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned. Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially.
See, I'm sorry. He's smart enough to know to not speak on this from a anecdotal perspective. So he says, most of the marriages I know. He knows the actual data. So why would he even be talking about most of the marriages he knows? He's a fucking divorce lawyer. He knows the data. I guarantee you he knows the data. Like, he knows exactly what's going on, right? And that's when I consume his content, that's usually where he's coming from like that perspective. But now all of a sudden it's, all the people that I know. Okay.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned. Most of the marriages I know, okay?
Sorry, and real quick, he's on Andrew Schultz's podcast. Just keep that in mind. So that's why I'm saying he's just saying what's convenient in the moment. You know what I mean? He's playing up to his audience, and this is a perfect example of pandering, a perfect example. He is playing to the baser nature of men by saying the lie that men have been perpetuating about marriage and about women for a millennia now, right? Like, this is a complete lie, complete fabrication.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned. Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially. He protects, right? He, he's also there to be part of the family dynamic, taking care of kids, doing the things that he can do. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day,
70% of married women work.
Bit of sweetness at the end of the day, sex. She brings, taking care of kids. Okay, if you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state, and if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that.
And he's a divorce lawyer, so he has female clients. You think he believes this? You think he's arguing this in court? He understands what marriage, like he's defended women in court. I'm sure he's defended both men and women, but I'm saying when he defends women, what do you think he's saying? You think he's saying like, oh, this is unfair and da 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 da. Like he knows this is a false equivocation right here.
To fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation about what we could both be afraid of and what value we want to attribute?
But the court can't.
That was such bullshit. No, let's listen to that one more time. I'm sorry. I got to hear it one more time.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned. Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially. He protects, right? He, he's also there to be part of the family dynamic, taking care of kids, doing the things that he can do. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day, you know, sex. She brings, you know, taking care of kids. Okay. If you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state.
Is he compelled to protect? You said everything on that side of the equation that the man was doing before, and all you mentioned was provide and protect. By the way, you mentioned two things. You said everything on that side of the equation that he can be compelled to do by the state. And I'm correct in that, right? How can the state compel a man to protect a woman when they can't? I'm saying after they've gotten divorced. How can the state compel a man to protect his family when they can't compel a man to protect his family while he is with them? It doesn't make any sense. That's a lie. Here's the pandering. He knows this is a lie. He's just saying this thing because he knows he's on a podcast with a bunch of dummies that is consumed by a bunch of dummies. He knows it.
If he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't.
He sounds mad about that, almost like, man, the court can't. I mean, shit, they can't do it. Damn it. I wish they could.
They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation about what we could both be afraid of and what value we want to attribute?
So I'll tell you what women are afraid of. Women are afraid of men being abusive. Women are afraid of men killing them. Men are afraid of men cheating on them. Men are afraid of doing those things and then ending up in divorce court. Do I have this correct? Is the class all on the same page now? What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God, man. This is what's really going on in most marriages and in most relationships. This is what's real. This is a part of the problem.
Women tend to be more unhappily married than men. Guys often think everything's fine.
Oh my God. So true. I had this conversation with a former partner where I said, in our relationship, I think if you never raised an issue, I think there'd never be an issue.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like everything was always fine. And every week.
Because women make everything fine. Women, listen, women are the thing, right? In this equation, they're the driving force that makes everything fine. That's why men feel like everything is fine. It's her. Whole time, she's fucking dying and crumbling inside. And it ain't because she just woke up one day and is unhappy. It is literally because that man is doing something to her. He's doing something to her or not doing something to or for her. That's the problem.
Because I just felt like everything was always fine. And every week she was coming to me with a problem. And had she not come to me with that problem, I think the relationship would have just been great.
Right.
That's how it felt.
So you're saying that she was so you guys aren't together anymore. And you would have been with this woman. So you clearly like this woman. The thing that broke you guys up was the fact that she would bring stuff to you and you wouldn't address it. And after so long, she got tired of bringing stuff to you and you not addressing it. And then she eventually leaves you, right? And most men aren't able to connect that dot. But what he's saying right now, what these dudes are talking about right now, everything they are saying is exact. Like, this is what's going on in marriages. This is what marriage really looks like. Modern men, modern women, whatever you want to say, this is the problem with marriage right now. Men are walking around ignoring every fucking issue that exists in the marriage that they themselves create. That most of the time the men are the actual problem, right? They create the bulk of the problems, the biggest problems, the most corrosive, the most destructive problems, right? And then women are forced to just grin and bear it. And as long as women can grin and bear it, then the relationship can function. Which brings me to a thing that I've said a million times. This is why I laugh at the notion that women can't have men, or women can't be married, or men control marriage, or whatever the case may be. Relationships basically function like this. How much bullshit are women willing to put up with in the relationship? How much bullshit are women willing to put up with in the relationship? If she's willing to put up with a hell of a lot, if she's willing to constantly get her feelings ignored and her emotions ignored and her concerns ignored, then you guys can stay in a relationship. If she's not willing to do that, or if she becomes unwilling to do that, the relationship has to end because the man is unwilling to grow. That's what's going on. That's it. We've cracked the case. It's not what the lawyer guy was saying. That was pure bullshit. We've cracked the case, though. I feel like fucking Scooby-Doo and shit.